much time here. Our
Yeah.
topic today is what were you thinking? Yeah,
What?
what were you thinking when? What was I
What were you
thinking?
thinking?
Yeah,
How
so
many
what
times
happened?
have I thought that? Yeah.
Yeah, so give us a few examples here, Cynthia. What were you thinking?
Yeah, gosh, it's funny. I think this is a question that I think about pretty frequently, especially when you are meeting some kind of challenge. And I know that I thought of it a million times, maybe a day, um, when I was starting up my own freelance business. And then again, when I started going down the affiliate marketing route and setting up my home business. Um, so it's definitely something, and I think, it can be a fun thing to think sometimes, or it can be sort of like a funny way to kick yourself in the butt and be like, oh my God, what the heck? What were you thinking when you decided to go solo? But by the same token, I think it's useful to sort of remind yourself the reasons the reasons why you're doing what you're doing and the reasons why you need to persevere through challenges or things that might be a little bit difficult.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Yeah, like the mindset training. What was I thinking? That's a
What
lot
was I
of work.
thinking?
It's a lot
Yes.
of work to clear the mind of things that are limiting, and they actually can be, some cases can be debilitating. But
Yes.
these limited thoughts and beliefs, it's a process to let go of them, and it involves a
Yeah.
lot of writing, and a lot of introspection, um, to address that. And I find myself resisting regularly. But once I get started and get into the flow, it just becomes easier, and it comes out naturally. And a lot of times that writing can be very revealing too about what I'm thinking, um,
Mhm.
and where my thought processes are going. Um,
Mhm.
Not to mention the time I jumped on a horse out in the pasture with no bridle, no nothing on. Well, I ended up in a barbed wire fence. I have the scars to prove it.
Oh no.
Oh no! But that was a what are you thinking moment too. But
Yeah.
with respect to, like, I'm an affiliate marketer. Um, I never thought it would be as involved as it is, um,
Mhm.
which is a good thing. You can't. It's easy to think you can just jump right in, promote some products, and sell them.
Mhm.
People want to get to know you a little better. They want to
Mhm.
know who you are, and what you're about, and if what you have to offer happens to fit into their scheme of things, then it all works.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really glad that you sort of jumped right on into that because I think sometimes what I really enjoyed about what you said was when you mentioned limiting beliefs because I think sometimes um, there wasn't a lot of thinking that was involved, let's say, in embarking on a marketing journey or even a freelance writing journey. There isn't a lot of thinking that goes there. And sometimes, like you're saying, it is a good thing because your limiting beliefs would probably have prevented you from even taking that risk in the first place. Um, by the same token, it does, when you do get to that point where you might feel overwhelmed or even a little bit scared or worried, that what were you thinking moment can be a good trigger to like allow you to invite you to think about how did I end up starting this journey, and will my next step still be in the direction that I wanted to go in or that I was hoping to go in when I had started this, or is my next step a deviation from that path? And so I like that you mentioned writing because that's what I do. And I would like to also invite people to think not so much in terms of writing, but maybe just journaling. It doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't have to be something that other people are ever going to see. It just needs to be clear for you and it needs to ring true for you. Hmm.
Yeah, in the old days, we called that writing in our diary.
Yeah, yes, yes. And then it became I think when I started school, we had a daily journal. And I never knew what to write in that daily journal, and so the teacher always said, "Well, start by talking about the weather." So every day of that daily journal, I saw it maybe a few years back. It was like, "Today is a rainy day. Today is a sunny day." Every journal entry started with, "What is the weather today?"
I love it. Well, it got you started, and look at this now. You're doing it professionally.
There we go, and I don't think I've ever written that sentence in my adulthood. It might be a good way to start a blog post. But yeah,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I think I really enjoy journaling, and um, I think journaling is a good way of being clear about your intentions, and being clear about the direction that you want to take in your career or in your path or in your endeavors, whatever those are. And I know from having been involved in the affiliate marketing space, you will get those what were you thinking moments. For a fact, because there are so many moving parts, and some of them you're good at, and some of them are challenging.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about experimentation.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah,
See, that's the only way you're
for
going to find
sure.
out what.
And you're good at that. You're very good at that.
Who? Me? Oh, that's
You're really good at
all I
experimenting
do
and
is
putting things
experiment.
in an experimentation framework.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, trying to take all of this stuff going
Mhm.
on and bringing it together. Uh, and that's just how
Mhm.
my mind works. I find myself once in a while getting too compartmentalized, though, and I just caught myself yesterday doing that again. So instead of looking
Mhm.
at the flow of something, I'll start. I started getting judgmental about something, and then a friend of
Mhm.
mine sent something to me, and I'm like, "Up oh, there I go again." And instead of looking at the flow of things, trying to
Mhm.
somehow compartmentalize it, or I don't know what I was. I don't know what I was thinking.
What were you thinking?
Yeah, well, I have a
Yeah.
lot of "what are you thinking" moments, um, and instead of just minding my own business and focusing on what's going on, in my little world and how I can help the outside world, I started
Mhm.
thinking, well, this, that. It's like, what are you thinking? Don't be going
Yeah.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know why I think it's human nature to do that. Actually, it's not all about me, but it feels like it because you're the only one that's in your head.
Yeah, well, and when you're running your own business, hey, Jason, when you're running your own business, you are in your own head a lot of the time, and then you want to sort of use that to, I don't know, I mean, you have to basically rely on um, your own smarts, your own resources in order to figure out how to get out of, a jam or to find your way out of some um, I don't know, I guess out of some challenging space that you're in.
Right.
So
Tell me
I
about a funny "what are you thinking" moment you've had. Something that was just a head shaker. Like, what was I thinking when I did that?
Oh
Like the
gosh.
horse jumping on the horse with the no bridle, no nothing, just the word of someone saying that I could do it and be okay. and I ended up in a barbed wire fence.
You know what? I know I have a lot of them, but the only one that I can think of, and this was a doozy, is actually when I was about 6 months in to the restaurant that I had set up with my husband. And I have to tell you, it was a pretty scary "what were you thinking" moment because I was having a conversation with a customer, and while I was chatting with her, she was also a fellow writer, and at the time I was more of like a hobby writer because I was running a restaurant as my profession, let's say. And I realized while I was chatting with her that I am a project person. I like to work on projects that have a very clear beginning and a very clear end. And I realized while I was talking to her that I am in I am running a restaurant, I'm owning a restaurant, and we really haven't set an end to this. My husband and I, we haven't agreed on an end to this. Like, are we going to sell it at some point? What are those objectives? I mean, for him, it was like natural that he would just sort of run it and cook in it until he's ready to retire. And for me, retirement was still like another, 35, 40 years out. So I was already like, "Oh my god, what was I thinking?" And I have to say though that having that "what was I thinking" moment, like you're saying, was extremely revelatory because I realized that it wasn't that I didn't enjoy running a restaurant, but I realized because I hadn't sort of set a clear path for myself, I really didn't have clarity on why I had started running this business in the first place. And it was from that point forward that I started realizing, okay, whatever it is that I do, like from this point forward, it has to be project based, not sort of, I don't know, open ended, never ending business based. So that's where, I started to think seriously about going into a freelance business, going from one client to another client, and having different kinds of projects that change or evolve, um, rather than, you're going to wake up and report to some place day in and day out for the rest of your life. Echo here.
No,
So, yeah. So I think that was probably my biggest "what were you thinking" moment. And I did need to rethink, and I did a lot of journaling around that time as well. Um, 6 months for ourselves or both of us, as far as the restaurant was concerned.
yeah, we're having a little bit of a transmission issue at your end. Uh,
I'm sorry
yeah,
about that.
you're still there, but you're kind of getting a little fuzzy and coming in and coming out. So hopefully
Oh,
that'll go away because I really enjoyed what I was hearing you say. Oh yes, yeah, very good. So yeah, what were you thinking?
what
What were
was
you
I
thinking?
thinking?
Love if Jason or anybody listening in the chat, if you would like to share a what were you thinking moment, like
Mhm.
what was I thinking the time uh, maybe we can bring a little humor into this as well. I know what was I thinking when I tried out for a majorette in high school, and my mom, bless her heart, had arranged to have a girl that was an upperclassman that was a majorette and trying to teach me how to finagle that friggin' baton. I couldn't for the life of me. And so, but I went and tried out anyway. And I was horrible. I could see it on the band director's face almost. He was trying not to grimace. But I was determined I'm going to at least try. I know there's not a shot in heck, but it was probably one of my most embarrassing and humiliating moments in life because I knew I didn't shouldn't I was wasting his time, and in my mind it was like I have to try something. I have to get out of this comfort zone. And so it just made me get better to do the next thing that I tried. And why I even brought that up is I've been going through a lot of old photos.
Uh-huh.
Had something pop up on my screen here, but as long as it's not interfering. Uh,
You went through some old photos?
yeah, I've been going through. I have like found a bunch of photos that I've been meaning to get to in one of my drawers, and I was able to shrink it down from three to one in a shirt box. And one of the pictures I came across was me in probably maybe 4 years old. And apparently I received a little majorette outfit for Christmas. And there I
I
stood.
love it.
Oh God, it was some of these pictures are hilarious, and it made me think about that time that I tried for majorette, and it was like, what were you thinking? Because I did not practice enough, and I knew
Uh-huh.
it. And so I went on and humiliated myself anyway. Um, but I had some good friends that were majorettes, and uh, I've got
Share with us one of your loved me some what were you thinking moments. Share with us one of your what were you thinking moments, Jason.
oh yeah. So Jason, tell us, what were you thinking?
In the meantime, I have another what were you thinking moment.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we
This
got.
is this is kind of absurd, but I was younger. This is we're going back to I think it was senior year in college. A friend of mine and I, we decided at the last minute, we didn't have any spring break plans. And we decided at the last minute to drive up to Montreal. I happened to have some friends there that I found out were going to McGill.
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
was like, yeah, let's go to Montreal for spring break. So we packed our bags, and a couple hours later, we were on the road. And now, mind you, I was driving. Where do I want to start? I want to hear start wherever start wherever it's comes up, Jason. So I want to just tell you the car that I had at the time was this beat up Geo Metro. I don't even think they produce these cars anymore. It is
I
the
remember that.
American version. Yeah, it's the American version of a Yugo. It really like the steering wheel starts shaking once you hit like 66 miles an hour. I mean, so it was a long drive, but this is where it gets kind of nuts. So it's drizzling as we're driving through New Jersey and New York City. And as we head into upstate New York, it starts snowing. And it's like, okay, a centimeter of snow. By the time we made it to Montreal, Canada, we were already in a foot of snow. Talk about a what were you thinking moment. And we stayed at a friend's house, and the friend saw the car that we drove up there, and we were like making our way with the car in a foot of snow. And that friend was like, "Oh no, you're not gonna park out here. It's like find a garage, figure out what it just pay like." You'll stay at our place, don't pay for a hotel, and use those monies to pay for your indoor parking. You're going to park at a mall. So we parked at a mall underground for a whole week. And thank God they said that because that whole week we accumulated like 5 feet of snow. We would have had to like find our car, dig it out, and the car probably wouldn't have been able to like, even drive out of its spot. So that was a what were you thinking moment. That was not good
Oh,
planning.
that's hilarious.
Oh, Geo Metro, he sent a link too.
Yeah, we're gonna try to get him on here.
Mm-hmm.
What my other what were you thinking moment was a bunch of us girls decided to do a panty raid over on Virginia Military Institute's campus,
Uh-huh.
and we dressed up like a bunch of clowns. And let's see,
Oh, hide. Sorry.
that's okay. So come on in, Jason. Just click on that link.
That
But
link.
I've got some pictures of that one. That was, I'll tell you, the moment I thought, "What were you thinking?" was when we went into the barracks, and it was 4 levels high, and it was like a quadrant. Okay, so you look up, and that's all you saw. And so we went in there screaming and being crazy, and then all these guys came out, and it was like, oh, how are we going to get out of this one? So I'll just end it with this: that my girlfriends and I were packed in my orange Gremlin. Remember the Gremlins? I
Oh
had an
yeah, I
orange
remember the
Gremlin. We
Gremlins.
were packed into my car, and the commandant was chasing us down the drive as we were escaping from the campus.
That's hilarious.
Oh my God, it was so funny. Oh, he's in the studio, but I don't see him.
I don't know where he is either, but I'm about to
But
send him an
okay,
invite
maybe he brought
link.
in, but I don't see it to bring you in, Jason. Uh,
Yeah.
hang on.
But I'm glad you brought up photos because I have the what were you thinking thought whenever I look at my high school photos.
Yeah, we
All
saw it.
of the
Yeah, yeah.
attire decisions that I made, and I'm sure like my parents, they were like, "Oh
There
my
he is.
God, get a clue. Here he is, the man of the hour."
Okay, okay. We gotta
Hey,
hear.
What were you thinking?
long time no see. How's it going, ladies?
Hello, thanks for joining us, Jason.
My pleasure. I only have a few minutes, but I had to get in on this. What did you were you thinking moments are some of the greatest material you could ever dream up because they're true, they're real, and there's so much lessons to be learned from them.
Yes. So tell
Yes.
us, what were you thinking moment?
Okay, well, I've had, like I said, where do you want to start? Because I've had so many in my life, depending on what part of my life you're talking about. But since
Well,
we're
pick
talking
one.
about, well,
We
since
want
we're
a
talking
good
about
laugh.
business,
We want a
okay.
good laugh this morning.
Oh, I can give you that for sure. I don't. And it's funny because when I say it to you now, it's maybe it's not a big deal.
Okay.
When I say it to you now, you're going to look back and think, okay, Jason, even I know. Like anyone would be just like, there's no way you could have thought that this was absolutely reality. So early on in my journey, and I got started on with a rather large company, rather large affiliate marketing company, and very successful. And I have nothing against the company; they're great. I know the owner, very good friends with the owner, and this is a lifetime ago. Okay, but I remember. Just like a lot of people, when you first get started, you're watching all the material, and more than you're watching the material and learning the material, you're watching all the success stories. You know what I'm talking about? Because you're getting fired up. Okay, this person made this much, and this person made this much, and they had the
Oh yeah.
expert panel. And what was your favorite? And I did Facebook ads, and I did this. And at the time, of course, this is when Facebook was on the upswing in terms of paid advertising for all of your marketing efforts. Little did I know that most of that, of course, was for creators as opposed to affiliates, but I didn't know the difference. All I know is here's so and so again,
Right.
who I in my infant youth of wisdom at that point, business wise. This person had a huge following and didn't know all that, but I thought, hey, it's good enough for so and so, it's good enough for me. So literally, I'm on a deadline. I'm about to
Mhm.
leave to go pick up my kids from school or something like that, or yeah, I had to go somewhere. But I remember the last part of the video was take action right now. Don't wait, just take action now, which is sound advice, but it's just enough to get you in trouble when you don't know what you're talking about. And I remember finishing the Facebook person's testimonial, not the training module, the testimonial. But that was training, and that's all the training I needed. So I
That's
thought, okay,
nice.
cool. Let me go ahead and put up a Facebook ad for a make money online offer. Yeah, should not have done that. So I go on I mean, and I'm not cruising through it. I am like 10 minutes before I have to leave to go pick some people up. And I'm thinking, okay, I am going to take massive action and I'm going to be super successful because of it. So I go through the process of creating an entire
Mhm.
Facebook business manager and ads account. And I'm thinking, I'm in the business, I'm ready to go. And again, go big or go home, right? So
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to do this as fast and as quickly as possible and be as massive action oriented as possible. So I create the account and I put up my ad. The ad copy was terrible. It literally was something along the lines of click this book and learn how to make money online. Like, it was bad. Like make money, and I didn't use Canva. I didn't use my picture.
Mhm.
I literally sourced a stock photo online, and it was super low resolution, but I was taking massive action. It was a picture of a
Hmm.
computer, a laptop. I bet I could find it right now. It's a picture of a laptop with dollar bills flying out of it. It was so juvenile. I couldn't believe that that's what I did, thinking that I could actually get rewarded in this sense. So I put that ad up there. My copy is terrible. My headline is terrible. It's like 3 sentences, 3 words maybe. But I was so proud of myself for taking massive action and getting it out there. And the worst part here, already you're thinking, okay, Jason, what were you thinking? But that's not the kicker. Here's the kicker. Me,
How much
I'm
did you
this face.
spend in
There
Facebook
you go.
ads?
There you go. I am so, massive action oriented. I literally cracked open a brand new credit card that I had just gotten. There's so many kickers here, it's not even funny. And I bet the whole thing. I put the entire
Oh my God.
it was a Discover card. Who even uses Discover cards anymore? I put a
Oh my
Discover card
God.
on there, and it was 4 figures. It had to have been $4,000 or $5,000. The entire thing on there, and I put it on there, and it said, okay, ad submitted, and it was like done. Thank you. Your ads in review. I took a screenshot of it. I sent it to the community group to get all kinds of props because I was doing so awesome. I left. I literally got to the school to pick up my kids, thinking, kiddos, Dad, next time you see Daddy, he's gonna be in a brand new car. Okay, I get back,
A
and
Ferrari? No.
oh my goodness, yeah. I get an email, and Facebook just rips me apart for scam. Immediately, my ad account is shut down. That's how I started out my ad account. Oh my goodness, it was just, we want nothing to do with you. And I remember going to all my mentors and coaches in the thing, and they're like, "You idiot! Why didn't you talk to somebody?" I'm like, I listened to what's his face testimonial. Isn't that good enough? Why are you guys putting out bad material? I'm blaming them. You know what I mean? So if you didn't want me to do that, then why are you putting out success stories that says that people made me get rich off of Facebook?
Yeah.
Didn't work out for me. That's my story. That's all I got time for. I hope you enjoyed it.
Oh,
Best
that is
story.
so common. Oh my God, have any of us
Yes.
not done that?
Yeah. Or some version of it, for sure. For sure.
And if it
Yeah.
gets out there, the abuse you get from the
Oh.
public. Oh my God. it's
But
The funny
you
part is I
learn
remember
some
feeling-
serious lessons.
It's true. Well, I was going to say the funny part for me is I remember feeling good about myself. Like I remember
Well,
feeling so accomplished because I took the action. And so
well,
now
you can take action. You got to give
That's right.
yourself credit for that.
It's true. Now, granted, it was misplaced and it was
A for
clearly
effort.
it was misguided. A for effort is right because as bad as it was, obviously I went about it the wrong way. But I guess I still clearly remember that feeling and it felt good. So I don't want to take away from that. So now, as a coach and as a consultant and as a mentor, when I'm dealing with my students, I still drive home to take massive action point. I just make sure, and I make them feel good. If they do it, get it done. That's always my thing. It's done is better than perfect. My motto is done is the new perfect.
Yes.
I just want to make sure
Yes.
that I'm telling them, giving them real life lessons and expectations to where they don't think that they can set up an account and make it big just like this. You know what I mean? The people that I'm working with right now, I'm helping a lot of people develop their own product. The biggest thing I'm telling them is stay away from paid ads in the beginning. And I'm a paid ad guy. I will always be a paid ad guy.
Yep.
And my lessons to them is, you know what, once you have your offer, go organic first. I want you to go paid ads, but don't start there.
Yeah.
Let's make sure that the offer converts properly. Let's do this and that. And then once you get those done, and so now, then we can go the paid ads route. And I'm always celebrating when they get something done. Is your funnel done? Is your copy done? Is your VSL done? Great. You'll get praise for it. Now let's take it to the market. So, so there definitely is a lesson there.
Yeah.
But man, what a whirlwind. What
There
a
is
crazy ride.
That testing.
Definitely
that
a
testing
lesson there.
is priceless. Absolutely priceless.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good.
Okay.
Well, ladies, thanks for letting me
And
on.
the feedback that you'll get.
Thanks for
Go ahead,
joining
finish that
us.
thought. What about the
I love
feedback?
the story. Thank you, Jason. I know you got to run, so go run.
Yeah,
I was just going to say the feedback that you get through like organic methods and qualitative methods is so much more valuable than the feedback you'll get when, you just spend a lot of money on getting the eyeballs, but then you don't get any clicks, nothing converts. You've just lost 4 figures, and you don't have feedback. So
and you ruined your good standing with Discover. Discover? Who even uses Discover anymore?
that too.
We
I gotta go
gotta
teach
get
a PE class. I gotta go teach a PE. I'll see you ladies next time, okay?
Folks, we gotta go. Thanks for
Ciao
joining
for now.
us.
Thanks.
See you later.
Bye-bye.